Hello there, folks. Welcome back. You're watching UKSG Green 2023, coming to you live from Glasgow, Scotland. And we have a special treat for you now. We have the wonderful The Woofs, who is going to be running Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge. Woofs, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Tiny Tim. Hello, everybody. Yeah, this is Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, a sequel, as many do, with a colon right in the middle, so you know it's a good one. This is a point-and-click adventure from LucasArts from the early 90s. We're going to be playing the any percent category, and of course all the categories on our leaderboard are very confusing. We have a light percent run down here, and we have any percent, which is actually a longer run than any percent. Don't ask me why. But we're going to play the whole game. We want everything, all the puzzles, all the work, the whole shebang here. So I'm just going to jump right into it. There's a lot of tech and a lot of interesting things to kind of go through as we go through about the half hour or so of this run. So we'll the timer starts right as I click here, so I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
So we get to enjoy these nice bleeps and bloops here from the soundtrack. We do have the sound on, so normally we turn the sound off on kind of these try-hard runs here. Because it actually will save at least 20 seconds by turning the sound off. It's kind of an interesting little tidbit. But we gotta enjoy the jams for the marathon run here. So just kind of a bit of a lore thing. It's always important to know what we're doing here. We're playing as Guybrush Threepwood, who is a pirate as per this particular game. In the first game, of course, Guybrush wants to be a pirate. And in that game, we basically become a pirate and take down the ghost pirate LeChuck, much to the happiness of everybody in the Caribbean here. But by the time the second game rolls around, we've done nothing other than tell everybody how awesome we are because we did that. So everyone's kind of sick of hearing about it. So we're going to do something else piratey here, and that is to find an old pirate. There we go. Sorry, that's a bit of a weird manipulation there. We're gonna go find a treasure called Big Whoop, which is this like kind of famous pirate treasure that's been hidden away. And to do so, we're gonna need to find 4 pieces of a map that will take us kind of to the end game. But before we can do that, we need to get off this island. So we are on Scab Island, as you can tell here, and we're going to build a voodoo doll as to get rid of somebody named Largo Legrand, who is holding pretty much everybody hostage on this island. It was one of LeChuck's lackeys back in the day. So yeah, very diplomatically, we're going to build a voodoo doll with some ingredients around the island. And additionally, we're going to grab a job because we need some money to pay for a ship to get off the island here. So we're kind of just poking around in order to get all of our items in here. This route is pretty carefully crafted as to try to kind of get the most value out of each particular section of the game. If you never played a point-and-click adventure, I guess it's kind of what we do is on the tin there. We point and we click, and that gets us items, and we use these items to solve puzzles throughout the game. It's kind of a narrative game. It's kind of a weird one to speedrun, admittedly. I know when I first started learning these, it's one of my all-time favorite games. I was kind of like, how do you speedrun one of these things? You know, if you just kind of memorize the dialogue trees and kind of just pick everything up, how hard could it be? But strangely, there's a lot of tech under the hood here. And Monkey Island 2 in particular is, I like to say, a game of inches, where we kind of string together a series of small improvements, and that kind of has big effects over the course of the half-hour run. So the kind of backbone of this whole thing is, strangely, is movement tech. This is not really a thing that, again, you'd think of in a speedrun like this. It's not, you know, your Super Mario 64 or other games like that, where it's kind of movement is super shiny and moving. I don't know. It's kind of the flashy bit of the game. But strangely, movement is the key in this one. So this was like the state-of-the-art graphics right back in the early 90s. So there's a lot of things that happen in the game to try to create some kind of depth of perspective here. And we're kind of moving Guybrush in a certain way to kind of maintain movement speed. And there's actually been new movement tech found since February, so I did a run of this at ESA Winter, and since then there has been a new found. It's called Schmovement, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but I'm kind of taking specific movements here with Guybrush. We're not just clicking, in this case we are just clicking on the swamp, but most of the time we're clicking in certain specific spots as to maintain certain movements from Guybrush. So obviously the fastest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. But because the game is, trying to look realistic and things like that, we're going to be clicking in certain spots as to kind of guide Guybrush in a straight line, because if you just click on the destination, a lot of the times he'll meander and kind of pop left and right, and that's slower than going in a straight line. So we're going to use that throughout the whole run. There's also a thing here where we grab this jar early. That's actually setting us up for a bit of a time save a bit later on in the run, because we're going to be trying to pick up that jar towards the end of part 2. We're in part 1 right now. Just reached for my split button. We are not splitting. So let's talk about this new tech. There's this thing called Schmovement. You can see that I'm kind of wiggling my cursor at the bottom here, and I don't know if the camera can see it, but I'm furiously clicking. On newer versions of ScummVM, you can just hit the enter key down there to try to do this. But that actually saves a second on that coffin ride from the Voodoo Lady's hut all the way back over. And why does that happen? This is kind of an interesting thing, and again, this is brand new, so there's, it's still in the lab, as it were. But it appears that if we're moving left or moving up on a screen, and Guybrush is shrinking in size, meaning that it's kind of moving away from this camera, we're actually maintaining what we call big Guybrush speed. So you can see, part of the trick here is that as Guybrush moves away, to create this perspective that it's like a 3D space, even though it's not. Guybrush gets smaller and moves slower, and that's to kind of create the illusion that there's depth on the screen. But by doing this kind of wiggling and clicking thing, a lot of times we'll use hotspots on and off here. We can actually maintain the bigger Guybrush size, which moves faster. And yeah, we use that throughout the whole run at this point. We're just about done with the first part here. Just to get you caught up, we did build a voodoo doll. We're going to use it now, and we'll negotiate with Largo to allow us off the island. And then additionally, we've quickly gotten the chef fired from their job. I'm sure it was unrelated to the rat we put in the soup. But this is how it goes. And so yeah, we've got our money. We did pick up a monocle earlier from our buddy Wally. And so now we're good to go. So we skipped a cutscene, but we had a good negotiation with Largo. So we're free to leave, and this kind of opens up the game into the second part. There's a specific movement here where we're going to head down. We're going to kind of move down to this area here and then click on the peninsula, and this allows us to basically save a second moving across the map. Again, Guybrush likes to meander. Okay, another movement here where we're going to try to basically click up and down off of this kind of big, kind of chimney looking thing on the houseboat. And this again saves a couple seconds, actually, strangely. And here we go. Our buddy Captain Dread here is kind of going to shuttle us around the islands now. We're going to head over to Fat Island and immediately get thrown in jail because we are a pirate in the end. There we go. All right, so this is the other kind of big piece of tech in here, is dealing with your inventory. This whole game's about picking up items and then using items on other things. So you notice that I opened one envelope to get some items. Then I picked up the second one, and you might be rightly saying, why wouldn't you just open both of them, because that's less things to deal with. But we actually need that second envelope because it pushes everything past that envelope down one row, and that plays a huge hand at the very end of the game, where we are going to very quickly be cycling through certain spots in the inventory. All right. Let's get through this section here. There we are. Numlock being on would be good. Just doing this quick puzzle here. That is a 23 red, 23er. So that's a random number every time. This is going to get us an invitation to Elaine Marley's mansion party. And we're going to need that because there is a map piece there. And once again, we're now looking for the 4 map pieces to Big Whoop, the famed treasure of the Caribbean. Oops.
Well, while you're doing that, can we get a couple of quick donations?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We've received $20 from Inbound Dreams. Big thank you to all the team for all the work you do fundraising. You guys are awesome. I love the speed run with Bricks and glad he managed to continue. So are we. Absolutely fantastic run. Thank you very much again there, Inbound Dreams. And $25 from Drone Riff. Good luck, Angel. And yes, viewers, it's always like this. And I think that's in reference to the Super Mario run that's coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. So stay tuned for that. Back to you, Woofs.
Thanks very much. Good to see more donations going towards such a great cause. So you haven't missed much. We checked a couple books out of the library because we're very studious. And we got our much-needed invitation to the party. We'll go to that party a bit later. We're just taking a quick pit stop here on Booty Island. Great name. I always forget that this music is very lively. But here's another map piece right here. We can't get that one quite yet, but we're going to buy just a couple items here for our next section. We're going to head back to Scab Island. So we're going to, just kind of pop through here. Again, we're just grabbing some items. We're getting set up for some things later on. We're going to saw somebody's leg off, because it's very piratey, I suppose. This is very adventure gamey, right? So we're going to do that really quick. Thankfully, it's just the peg leg. It's not too much of a gruesome surgery, thankfully. One thing I'll call out right now, because it's going to come up pretty soon, is you may notice that we're playing on the FM Towns version. And the way you can tell, because we have this lovely kind of golden brown verb coloring going on the bottom. And if you've ever played this game, it's very likely that you're used to them being purple. That's because most versions are purple, the Amiga version, the DOS version. And this is like one of my favorite little songs from the game here. But FM Towns is unique because it has a massive sequence break that's version exclusive due to a kind of a technical limitation that was put on the dev team that ported it over. So we're doing kind of a specific bit of dialogue here. Cool, there we go. So dialogues in this game are kind of interesting. So we hold down the stop key or the period key, and that allows us to skip text furiously thanks to key repeating in the game. So if you just hold down your stop key, you'll just kind of rip through text. But it's not always the fastest just to do that because some dialogues are also considered cutscenes. And we went through that last conversation with the bartender, for example, where I was looking for one specific line to come out from the bartender, and then we can skip the rest of that conversation because it's treated as a cutscene. So it's sort of like, I always kind of refer to this as playing the piano. It's kind of like a bit of a phrase of music where there's a timing between selecting the answer on the screen and doing the cutscene skip afterwards, so you're kind of bouncing back and forth. We're good to go here. So here's Stan. We're going to see him briefly. Any Monkey Island heads know Stan pretty well. We stand for Stan. We'll see him in Curse of Monkey Island, though. He only makes a brief appearance. We're going to lock him in this coffin quick. And now we come to one of the bigger parts of the RNG in this game. We've gone through quite a bit, as it is. We're going to have a little sip of this drink here, and then we're going to go into this spitting contest. So it's very piratey to be good at spitting. But it's also extra piratey to cheat at the pirate spitting contest. So we're going to distract everybody move the flags a little bit closer. And we are going to have some bad RNG here, but that's okay. We're just waiting for the wind to blow. I'll reset this a little bit. Oops. Finger is slipping on this thing right here. Just waiting for the wind. Good claps, though. Wait for it. There it is. Okay. Yeah, pretty lousy spit RNG there. That's on a kind of a weird timer. We've been working pretty hard to figure out exactly how to manipulate that a bit better. And there's a couple new routes that have popped up that are kind of in the lab that could address some of that particular bit there. But anyways, we made it to the mansion. We're going to try to get another map piece. Here it is, just sitting there, nice and easy. Super easy puzzle, just grab it, right? Nope, we've lost it. So we need to grovel. Here's Elaine from the first game, who's a little upset with us. So we're going to try to make it up to her by saying nice things. We're going to grab this ore really quick. And we're going to go grab that map piece. This will be our first one. Again, we need 4 in total. There's 2 on Booty Island, 1 on Fat, and then 1 on Scab Island. We've already done some setup to get the rest of them, but that's that. Get by the dog here. And here is the sequence break. And there it is. You would have never known it happened, but I promise it did, and you'll notice it soon. But normally that map piece that we just had blows down to the cliff on the south part of this island. On the FM Towns version, they didn't have the resources to kind of code that animation and make it all work. So it's actually, instead of going down to the cliff, it's up here at the big tree. We're going to stack this now. That saves a couple minutes, I think. But we're going to stack this with a kind of particular flashy sequence break here. So you can notice that Guybrush is actually a Jedi, and we can float. So yeah, we're just going to do that. So normally the way you're supposed to do this puzzle is you're supposed to get on the ore and the ore breaks. And great, you know, that's you have to go back to Scab Island to fix it. But we'll just look like we lost it, but we'll just warp up to the top of the tree. And that saves a ton of time as well. So there's our map piece. I used the dog, Guybrush the dog, total coincidence, to go and get ourselves our first map piece. We're going to quickly move on to the next one. So we're going to need to trade a special treasure to the shopkeeper down in the town here for the second map piece. So here we go. Just a bit of dialogue here. I don't know if there's any messages or anything like that. Now's a good time.
Thank you very much indeed. Remember, folks, that you are donating towards Crisis. We've raised $4,135. That's absolutely fantastic. We are just shy of the previous event's record. So can we see if we can beat that? We've still got a few hours to go. We've also got a couple of incentives coming up. Just want to plug these. There's one that I'm particularly interested in. We do have a couple of incentives here. We've got the Pokemon Starlet Name the Starter Pokemon. We have the Increase the Chaos for Super Mario Shuffler. Needing a little bit more on that. 150 out of 300. And who do you want to be the voice of Granny's Garden? Currently we have $50 on Ruffled Bricks, $15 on Argic, and nothing for the Woofs. Show the Woofs some love. Nominate the Woofs to narrate Granny's Garden, please. Thank you very much indeed. Back to you.
Thanks very much. Gonna grab this quick and do a little swap-a-rooney here. So we're gonna put the Parrot Chow up here because we need this mirror. Can't get the mirror until the parrot's done. And then we'll do a little trade. And there's our second map piece. We've found the Mad Monkey head off of a kind of sunken ship down there. The location of the ship is random, which is why we grab one of those books earlier on so that we can read it. You may have seen me kind of do that really quick there. So now we need some near grog because we're going to, once again, cheat at a contest to go quick. So here's our near grog, and we're going to do a drinking contest. If we do this the normal way, we will always lose because Guybrush cannot hold his grog very well. And this is also special grog. That's very strong. We're doing some more movement here to try to save a bit of time. Heading up there. We need to kind of take this little path over here to get down to this mansion. Again, we're just getting set up for our final map piece here. So this is a part in the run normally where we do a little guessing game. Rapscallion has our final map piece, and he's buried in a random coffin on Scab Island, and it's either between coffin 1, which is the closest to the door, or coffin 5, which is the furthest away from the door. So let me know what coffin you think Rapscallion is in. This is like a bit of RNG. There's about a 15-second swing from the fastest coffin to the slowest coffin. So we're hoping for 1 or 2 ideally. If we can get away with a 3. Coffin 4 and 5 is certainly doable. For a long time, world record was on coffin 4. So is it 1? No. 2? No. 3 though. Yeah, coffin 3. Let's go. Okay, coffin 3 is kind of the last acceptable coffin, I would say, these days. The run has gotten fairly, I don't want to use the word optimized because there's a whole bunch of new stuff going on, but it's tight. You want every second that you can get. So coffin 3 is good. There's basically a big gap between 3 and 4, so we've got the front half of that. It's good. So this is kind of an interesting bit here. We've used, this is, by the way, apologies for everybody out here. If you don't know what a monkey wrench is, I apologize for this joke. But that, I think, got a lot of people stuck there. But we needed to use the monkey on the pipe there to turn off the waterfall, and then we just have to enter the waterfall quickly, and then we can fast travel down there the other way. So we're going to use our mirror here quick. We're going to skip some text. This part is a little bit scary because this is on a timer. If we want optimal movement, which we got pretty good stuff there. So if you kind of just click on the table to get moving around there, Guybrush will take a really, really long path. And yeah, you lose time here. But here's our drinking contest. We won. That's our fanfare. So we kind of go drink for drink here. There's no skipping this, but why would you want to? I love this little animation. Good old Rub Rogers Jr. All right, he's taking a nap now. Long day of drinking there. So we're going to just use this telescope here, and it's going to give us the answer of the secret button that we need to push. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's okay. We'll do this again here. That part can be a little bit scary, and I think whatever kind of graphic setting this is on, it has sort of like a smooth scroll on, and so the timing of this can be a little scary, but we need to hit that one. The scariest brick of them all. Cool. So there's a map piece. We only have one more left. We've sufficiently cheated at just about everything in the game, which is what you want as a pirate. So finally, we're going to head out and we're going to go talk to Rapscallion. So the kind of thing that's interesting about Rap is that Rap is dead. It might have been suggested a little bit by the fact that he's been in a coffin. So we're going to do some voodoo to resurrect our buddy here. Let's see what we can do. So we're in coffin 3. So that's this one here. Grab a little bit of the dirt here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, by the way, in case you're, I don't know, keeping track at home. Bit of the RNG. Okay, back up to the swamp. I'll talk to the voodoo lady. I tried picking up that jar earlier in the run. I was kind of talking about this. This sets up a really nice, easy dialogue here. So the more dialogues that we can have on the same option, meaning that we don't need to switch between option 1, 2, 3, etc., that will go a long way here because this basically changes this conversation just to 1 and 1. So we can just kind of spam on through. The music in this game is so good. It's a shame we turn it off for most of the speedruns because it's a really, really good one. Cool. So we now have an item called Ash to Life. The failed rebranding of Boys to Men, I think. But we're going to go over here and use it on the coffin, and that will resurrect Rapscallion. But Rap isn't just going to hand over the map, of course. That would be too easy. On the light mode, by the way, if you've ever played light mode, or actually really more if you've never played light mode, it's kind of like an early version of kind of like more of a casual difficulty, but it was made kind of as a joke because everyone complained, at least the reviewers of adventure games back in the day complained that the game was too hard. So Ron Gilbert and the team basically made an easy mode that was just for adventure game reviewers, where all of the puzzles were easy enough for anybody to do, and the whole game is like exceptionally easy. To the point where it's almost a joke. You can pretty much just open a coffin, and it's always coffin 2. You open it up, and the map is just waiting there for you, for instance. The light run is very, very fun. It has its own unique puzzles and kind of glitches and stuff. So it's actually quite fun to do. However, we're doing the full any % thing, so we get that cool tree climb, and we get to get all of the other kind of cool little bits in the game here. But worth a shot if this one, for whatever reason, tickled your fancy. But that game's all done in about 15 minutes. Additionally, there's another category in this game called Glitched %. That's done in about 5 minutes, and that uses an Amiga-specific glitch, which is pretty cool. So what did we just do? We went up to the Weenie Hut, and we turned off the gas. Rap was the cook on the ship in question that buried the treasure initially. So after, I guess, they buried the treasure, he became a hot dog, I don't know, salesman, if you will. Started a little thing up here, but apparently perished because the place exploded. Not up to code, apparently. So we did him a favor and turned the gas off, because the gas bill must be insane at this point. So did that. We're going to do a quick little thing with Wally here. Wally's a cartographer. I've kind of brushed over Wally. Kind of our gateway to the whole run. If you're going really, really fast, you want to get that monocle drop that I did earlier in the run. Really, really quick, and sometimes he can hold out on you. There's like a 10-second window of when he drops that. We actually got a really, really good one on this particular run, but that's just about all the RNG we got so far, so it's all good. All right, just about done here. We have all of our map pieces. We've given the map over to Wally, who's assembled it, so we now know where Big Whoop is. But we're going to be heading over to LeChuck's Fortress. So by the way, we've skipped a healthy amount of the lore here. LeChuck has been resurrected, as with every good sequel. I feel like you need something like that to happen. So we're going to go sneak up into the fortress here and try to make our way through the run here, the rest of the run. All the while trying to get to Big Whoop, our kind of ultimate goal. So to do so, this is a crate that says it's en route to LeChuck's Fortress, so here it is. We've made it in. Another bit of RNG here is the bone puzzle. So we're going to head on up here, and let's see what kind of bones we have here. Head, arm, leg, head. Head, arm, leg, head, second room. Head, arm, leg, head. I'm going to try to remember this here. So it's not this one. There we are. Head. Arm. Yes. Oh, great bones. Okay. Sometimes you can get doubles. So because my brain is small, I can only remember the first line of each of the bits of the verse there. And so I just go off of the first bone that appears there. But sometimes they'll give you rooms that are... That was a loud noise. They'll give you bones that have doubles in there, so we would have had like 2 heads in the same room or something like that. So that was a really good one. Not a lot of walking either. The only thing that's you can improve upon in that is if you get the RNG where it's in the very first room. So your first room is always the same no matter what. It's kind of a weird thing. I think there's 8 total possible kind of bone puzzles available to us, but the rooms themselves are all random. All right, so we have blown ourselves all the way over to Dinky Island. Dinky Island, of course, is where Big Whoop is buried, apparently. So we're going to just kind of do a couple things here. We're did a little glitch there. That's a kind of an oddity, but we can actually get this water all cleaned out here. We need just plain old water, not salt water. We can use the still that's conveniently sitting over here to kind of clean that out. But we actually don't even have to walk all the way to the ocean. It's kind of a weird thing. So if we kind of use, there's the bit there. If we just use the two items quickly together, Guybrush will just kind of do it automatically, which is cool. That was actually a bit of a, I don't know, a shortcut there, an oddity, another oddity in the game. There's a lot of oddities in this game. But if you use the bottle with the crowbar in that order, you will not have the bottle smashing animation. If you use the crowbar with the bottle in that order, Guybrush will stop, make a comment about it, and then you have to wait for the animation to play through. You can also smash the bottle on like a rock. There's a few different ways to do that puzzle. But the fastest way is to do it the way I just did there, so we can just keep moving. And the whole game is about moving. Or really, I should say, the whole speed run, right? So we're taking both crackers here. You can do this puzzle a bunch of different ways as well, because you get basically one hint each time you talk to the parrot, and it's one hint to one cracker, basically. So we take two right at the second part there, and we can skip this one. This is another screen where you'd normally get a hint, but because that room, like the flight path of the parrot is shorter, we take two there just to get to the end. Second biggest hole we've ever dug. Great Scott. And we're moving into the end game. We're almost here, folks. And here we go. All right, so here's Big Whoop. There it is. So we're gonna do some Indiana Jones stuff here. It's the LucasArts connection, right? And nailed it. So we're just gonna hang out here for a little bit. And then we're going to go into the end game. The end game is crazy. It is an RNG mess. We'll do our best to control what we can. But there is kind of a particular path we're looking for speed's sake here. Oh, there's LeChuck as well. This is kind of the last chance if there's any other things that you want to say. Tiny Tim.
Of course, we've just received a donation. $50 from Harold, who says, "Extra chaos, please, Angel," and that is going towards our Angel Interceptor incentive, which is Super Mario All Stars Super Mario World Shuffler. We're at 225 of 300. Do you want to see more chaos and have the interval for the shuffler reduced to 15 to 30 seconds? We need $75 more on that. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Right on. More chaos always, right? Okay, speaking of chaos, we are about to dive into this very RNG heavy section. So there's 5 rooms here. We're looking for 2 of them. You can take either of these. That's a bad spawn, so we're just going to reload that. Cool. And there we go. This is the first aid room. We're going to grab a skull and a couple other items over here. So the idea is this is actually a callback to the original puzzle where we're going to be building a voodoo doll, but this time it's for LeChuck. And this part's kind of scary in the fact that LeChuck will be lurking around every corner and has a tendency to warp us into other rooms. So we kind of want to see not a lot of LeChuck, and if we do see LeChuck, we want to get a warp that's semi-close to where we need to be. Just doing a little bit of inventory management and basically just grabbing items and putting them in the voodoo bag, or this should say the juju bag. Okay, here we go. This is like the very, very difficult part of this run here. So we've given the ultimate wedgie here. We're going to put the underwear into the bag and quickly hand over the hanky. So that's 3 of our 4 items that we need. And now we're going to get warped again. We're looking for the elevator, so elevator, please. Hey, first try. That is very rare and good RNG. Let's go. We'll stick that. Well, we'll do it up at the top here. So the whole idea of getting this all to kind of culminate here in the elevator is all part of the plan. I don't think the dev team expected you to do this final section in the elevator. You're supposed to do it in the hallway, and you'll see why in a sec here. So we're going to combine all of our ingredients here. This is us creating the voodoo doll, shaking that cocktail up. And then we're going to do a little stab-a-rooney here, and then, yep, he's gone. He's back, but then he's gone again. And that is much, much shorter than taking the entire animation outside of the hallway there, taking it inside the hallway, because you have to wait for LeChuck to kind of hobble away, and then you have to walk all the way over there. This is such a good series of animations, by the way, the kind of exploding bits there of LeChuck. Everybody applaud the dog. If you have dog emotes in there, show them off in chat. Good dog. And then we're pretty much done here. So time is coming up. It's got a couple different things here. Look how sweaty that mask is. There we go. And here's the ending, and that's time.
GG.
That's the whole game. Nice cliffhanger ending there. Classic Ron Gilbert. And that's it. Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge. Yeah, I hope I got to talk about everything I wanted. There's so much happening under the hood, but it's a lot of really small things that kind of add up into one kind of tidy run there. Shouts out to the Speedy Adventures Discord. If you're interested in this game or any other kind of point-and-click adventure, there's a whole community that we have as sort of a jump-off point for anybody looking to learn, you know, your King's Quest or your Monkey Islands or what have you. So give that a shout. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for commentating, Tiny Tim, a little bit, popping in and out.
Yeah, I was actually, to be honest, letting you do your thing because, as you said, there's so much to talk about in that run.
Yeah.
And obviously, I had a bit that I could have added as well, but you were doing fantastic,
Hey,
so
there we go.
it was great. Thank you very much indeed. Give it up for the wonderful Woofs.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you very much indeed. Really enjoyed that. That's my sort of game, that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you again, Woofs. We're going to move on very shortly now. We've got the next run. We've got Chrysosaurus coming up with Pokemon Scarlet Path of Legends Glitched. If you've not seen this game before, please stay tuned. We will be back after this short intermission.